everyone, and welcome back to Animation Pilgrimage, the show where Sean and I take a look at every single theatrically released animated film in chronological order. I'm Tennille.
And I'm Sean, and today we are looking at Bon Voyage, Charlie Brown.
And Don't Come Back.
From Paramount in the USA.
Yep.
Why are the Charlie Brown movies always so weird?
Ooh, the Peanuts. I mean, Peanuts can do anything, so...
They do.
So they do. I don't know, this was, There's not much to say about this one.
It's a travel movie.
Yeah, so Charlie Brown goes to...
Yeah.
He's a foreign exchange student.
Yes, Charlie Brown, Linus, Peppermint Patty,
and Marcy.
Yes, yeah. Along with Snoopy and the bird.
Woodstock.
Yeah, Woodstock.
Mm-hmm.
They go on a plane, and then they go to England, and then they go to France, and then they're exchange students, and Charlie Brown gets a weird letter, and he's taken to the chateau of the bad neighbor, and there's a baron there, and he hates children, and he wants them gone, but his niece sent him a letter, and then they're gonna get kicked out, but then the house catches fire, and then they have to save Linus and the niece from the fire, and then the movie ends because everyone's happy now, and
because they saved the Baron's not going to be mean anymore, which is like literally how the Baron says it.
Mm-hmm.
The Baron is like literally in a bar in one scene where he's like, if something doesn't have to soon, I'm going to have to take drastic measures, kind of implying that he's going to kill these kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the fire. And then the niece comes up and she's like, the Baron says that he won't be mean anymore. And like, that's it.
So that's the plot of the movie. But this movie doesn't care a lot about the plot.
No, it's more so just like little gags that you can do with the Peanuts characters, which I mean, like, that's what these have been.
Mm-hmm.
There's usually been more. Yeah, there's usually been more to be said, like, during these, but, like, this one really is just Peanuts characters getting into brief little...
things in Europe.
Yeah.
I have a small list of some of the more notable things that happen.
Yeah.
I guess. Like, Snoopy drives a car, and he flips people off.
Yeah,
like,
Snoopy is real vulgar in this one.
He doesn't use the finger, but he uses multiple European ways of flipping people off.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, they got away with this in a children's movie because nobody in America knows what that means.
And he's doing it, like, pretty violently, too.
Pretty aggressively, like, he knows what he's doing. He knows that he's flipping people off.
Uh-huh. And if you want to write down in the comments, like, what? Did he do that one? Did he do this one? The answer is yes, he did all of them.
Mm-hmm. Flipping off his chin, biting his finger... or like his thumb. So many.
Yeah, like a lot.
It's just like, wow.
Oof.
There's a really long extended school scene where Peppermint Patty, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Charlie Brown share a desk, and she's just constantly talking and aggressively like overbearing and controlling of Charlie Brown. And it goes on uninterrupted for like 5 minutes, and it's probably the best scene in the movie.
But it's also like,
why is it in this movie?
It's so annoying, but also the it's one of those running gags that because it goes on so long, it's kind of funny. But also it's like really grating.
It keeps waffling back and forth between this is obnoxious and, you know, I kind of love this. And then I hate it again. And then, I like it again. I think ultimately it comes down on, I like this because I think it's the best scene in the movie. Because the comedy that is in there generally works better than a lot of the other comedy. Yeah,
like there's this other segment that happens a couple of times where Snoopy, because they're in France, decides that he's going to go to the bar. And drink, and like his drink is labeled root beer, but he acts drunk, and he's like dancing at the bar
and listening to music, and that's it.
That's the joke.
it just goes on.
Nothing funny happens because Snoopy drinks. He's just drinking, and that's the joke.
Mm-hmm. And that one also goes on for like 5 minutes.
For a really long time, yeah. This movie was pretty boring.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I had to sum it up in one word, it's just, this was dull.
Mm-hmm. A couple of other things that happen rather quickly is when they're in England, they make fun of English accents and how they can't understand each other. And Snoopy does Wimbledon.
Instead of studying French, I should have studied English.
Yeah.
Wah.
Snoopy also plays tennis in Wimbledon and gets kicked out. Airplane jokes, because of course there are. And Marcy and Peppermint Patty are fighting for the affections of random French boy that they're staying with.
A very, very one-sided love triangle that would be funny, I think,
if Peppermint Patty wasn't
a lesbian.
Incredibly gay.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh man, why do they have to try so hard to try and make Peppermint Patty straight? But no, it's Marcy and Pierre are like obviously getting along really well. And Peppermint Patty...
They're holding hands.
Yeah, they're holding hands. And Peppermint Patty's like, oh man, Marcy, I think Pierre's really falling for me. We have to let this kid down easy. Oh man, he's just really pining for me.
And Marcy's like,
are you sure, sir?
If you say so.
And at the end of the movie, she tries to give him a kiss goodbye. But then Snoopy just kisses her because, that's what Snoopy does.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's really it.
There's not really anything else in this movie.
There's not a lot notes-wise either. This was directed and done by a lot of the same people who did the other Peanuts films, so a lot of that stuff carries over. However, this is the last theatrically released film that the Peanuts do.
From here on out, it's like the television movies.
Yeah, the TV specials, which, are still going strong. I was going to look and see if, the Peanuts brand was kind of starting to dwindle down at this point. And I think a lot of the really memorable specials have already been made. Like the Great Pumpkin and...
the Christmas one.
Some of the other holiday ones. But those all kind of had their heyday. And the Peanuts in general had their heyday in the 60s and the 70s. So from the 80s forward, they're still making them, but they don't have the same
cultural
nostalgia factor going on. These aren't as well regarded going forward. So this is going to be the last Peanuts movie we see until 2015.
Wow. Okay. I'm not even that bummed.
No. You and I are not huge Peanuts fans. We appreciate it for what it is, but also, like we've pointed out in our previous Peanuts episodes, a lot of Peanuts humor is kind of boomer humor, and also it's a lot of these kids just being really mean and nasty to each other, and we're like,
I don't care.
Yeah, it's not bad, it's just not really our thing.
Mm-hmm. So, ultimately, would I recommend people watch this? Do you like Peanuts? If yes, watch. If no, probably watch. Don't.
Even if you like Peanuts, this wouldn't be like a Peanuts movie I'd suggest to Peanuts fans.
No.
I'd be like, no, just go watch some of the other ones that are more well regarded.
It's like, if you haven't seen this one and you're curious, watch it. But don't expect too much.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I'd tell most people to just skip it, because there really is nothing here.
Yeah. It doesn't even ask a lot of the, more philosophical questions that Peanuts is known for.
Mm-hmm. Like the first one, where it's like, don't be sad. You just gotta live with it and move on.
Yeah,
even if they're questionable morals, the others had morals sometimes. This one doesn't. It's just a travel movie. Mm-hmm. There's nothing here.
And the gags don't
I guess one thing we didn't mention is the reason that the letter came in the first place is because Charlie Brown's grandpa was in World War II or I, and he got a haircut in this town and left his bag And so this little French girl got it from her grandma and just wanted to meet the descendant of this man that her grandma knew.
Apparently, the story behind this comes from Charles Short's own experience in World War II. So it's kind of just like a
nod to the creator.
A little bit.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. Either way, I think that's it for this episode.
Very short.
That's okay with me.
Uh-huh.
We've had a lot of pretty long ones recently. I'm okay with the shorter one for once.
Yeah, so what do we have next time?
Next time, well, okay, so we watched a movie about a vacation.
Vacation.
And these last 2 weeks, we've had a nice vacation from Japan.
Vacation had to get away.
Well, we're going back to Japan again, and we're going to be there for a while.
Oh, boy.
Again.
Uh-huh.
So join us back here next time as we watch Makoto-chan from Tokyo Movie Shinsha. Forewarning, it's about a small child that, as far as I can tell from just briefly skimming it, getting into a lot of adult situations. See you guys then.
Okay.